Quite an easy get out.
A question to start the show today. And the question goes to you, Owen.
Oh, good. Well, that's a
How
surprise.
many times have we covered England winning an away test match on the Lanka Cricket podcast?
My guess would be never. No. Australia. 1?
We never won in Australia.
I don't know then. None? Okay, none?
This is the second time we will ever cover an England.
we will ever. They'll never win
We have
again.
ever covered an England
What
away
was the
test
first
win.
one?
Bangladesh, our first ever tour.
All right. Okay.
I like how we call it a tour, like we went out there. Anyway, you're listening to the Log Cricket Podcast. Currently 2:30 in the morning of a Sunday morning, which is normally
people
our.
know this is when we do it.
Yeah, this is our shift. So if you guys can see us on Periscope, then you know this is what's happened at 2:30 in the morning.
People know that now.
I'm Dave. He's Owen. We're the Long Up Cricket Podcast, and we're here to speak about the first test between Sri Lanka and England. But first of all, before we go into the lovely, lovely cricket, how are you? You can get yourself very comfortable.
Shit. I just got a cramp. Yeah, mate, I'm good.
What's going on?
Not a lot, mate. Not much, no. Just, I'm all good. Look at that. Look at my shoe.
What's wrong with it?
Look at the tongue. You're one of those people that rams their feet into shoes and the tongue gets all folded up inside the shoe and you just don't
like
care.
A troll.
I don't know how you do that. I couldn't live a life like that.
But like I wear like DCs and Vans and like.
It doesn't matter. You can't do that. It's not comfortable. It's uncomfortable. And you wear bare feet in shoes.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I never wear bare feet in shoes.
No, that's not true.
I can't get sweaty feet.
Yeah.
But like, I skateboard a lot as well, so the ollie holes go through to my feet or hurt my feet.
That's not true.
My knees are smashed up.
You are a terrible skateboarder.
No,
the
it's a passion.
small amount of time you tried,
Passion, bro.
you were bad for all of it.
Doesn't matter. It's still my passion.
There was no glimpse of talent.
And I'm getting better by the day. All I know is that tomorrow will be better than yesterday. I'm one step closer towards my goal.
What's your goal?
To just live life at the fullest on the
Right,
board.
okay. You shut up.
I love skateboarding.
You don't skateboard.
I love it.
You skateboarded for a very small period of time and you didn't have your skateboard was massive. And it was a terrible skateboard.
Still picked it up off the ground, didn't I?
It was such a rubbish skateboard, it had bits of plastic on it for grinding.
That was because I used to grind hard. I put them on myself.
The wheels never got off the floor.
No, he did. At one time I bailed.
Yeah, that was impressive.
And I've actually got a picture of me doing some sweet tricks.
You couldn't do
the
a
park.
trick. Anyway,
I
people have
B50 slided a lot.
People have no interest in your skateboarding.
I thought you said pit bulls.
Oh, mate, you gonna tell them what we're actually covering?
I already have. They already know.
I don't think they do.
I said it was the first test between Sri Lanka and England. I even said Sri Lanka first because that is how we do it on this show. We put the home team first.
Should we go through the teams?
Let's go through the teams. Let's go through the teams.
Yes. Which team we're going to go through first?
We'll go through Sri Lanka first, seeing as we don't know much about them, but might be a nice, easy one. I feel in a bit of a weird mood, Owen, so you might have to...
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Before we go through the teams, and when we were watching the highlights, Dick Weller was doing the reviews. Why?
No,
he's not the captain.
No, he's not, no.
So why was he reviewing?
Well, some say he's got the best
was
view
the
in the
captain
house.
not on the field?
Yeah, he was, but some say he's got the best view in the house. I tend to agree with those people. It's going to be a long night.
I don't understand.
I feel like letting some fireworks off after this. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's still going on, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll stop doing that.
Why?
People. I don't know. I don't even like fireworks at the best of times.
I went to the ones in Worcester. They were quite good.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were. Not too long. Just a lot of them in a short period of time. That's how you should do it.
They have a big fire as well.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. Why isn't that a bank holiday either? I googled bank holidays the other day.
Yeah, you were disappointed there were none in November or whatever it was, October.
Well, the next one's December 25th.
Right.
But Like that, you shouldn't even count that as bank holiday. It's Christmas. It's not bank holiday.
Is Boxing Day a bank holiday?
I think so.
I think it is as well, but Christmas Eve isn't.
No, which is fair enough.
I suppose. What about New Year's Eve? Probably not.
New Year's Day is.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's only 3 in there, right? When nobody works those 3 anyway.
Yeah.
That's just, even if it was a
people
bank holiday.
do.
Yeah, even if it's a bank holiday or not, generally people don't.
Yeah.
Boxing, if you're in retail, then sorry, but like us, the Long Hot Cricket Podcast, we have to work when the cricket's there. So it's just the way of life. Let's go to this Sri Lankan team. So you've got Silva and Karunarante. Not said right. Mendes, we've seen play before. Shandamal, the very experienced Sri Lankan player, now captain. Angelo Matthews comes in after him. Dickwella, the exuberant wicketkeeper. But De Silva, Pereira, Dhananjaya, Lakmal, we've seen a lot of, and of course, Harath in his final.
When you
Test
say
match.
Lakmal, we've seen a lot of.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
We've seen a lot.
What does that mean?
Lakmal.
Have we seen more of him than anyone else?
We've seen a lot of Lakmal over the years, haven't we? He's been a long.
Are you going to say the same with James Anderson?
Yeah,
Okay.
why not?
All right.
I think James Anderson's probably played for longer than Lakmal.
So what are you going to say for him?
Anyway, just thinking about those, any players in that team, that Sri Lankan team, Owen, that you... I wish this was video, because people would find out how much of a weirdo you are.
Go on, you're asking me a question, mate. Please, carry on.
You look like a mushroom. Owen's got a hat. It's a tan hat. It's a beanie, and he's pulled down it all over his face. He looks like a mushroom.
Please.
This is why you're.
Please ask me the question.
This is the main reason
Does
why
it look
you
like
will
a
die alone.
Does it look like a monkey nut?
Yes. Monkey nuts aren't tasty. Why do people eat them?
They're not that bad.
They are dry.
Not as bad as an almond, mate.
No.
Almonds are the worst.
But then, if you get an almond, cut it up, and don't have any of that dirty shell in there, and put it in cakes. Nice.
Right. The cake is nice.
The almonds are nice.
Almond syrup.
Almond milk's nice.
Never had it.
Not actually nice. Just doesn't taste of anything.
You got to be careful which one you get because most of them are just rammed with sugar.
Yeah, I used to get the unsweetened one.
Bet that doesn't taste as good, does it?
Just tastes like life.
Yeah. Sorry, you're asking me a question, mate. I was answering it.
Regarding any of those Sri Lankan players, anybody that alarm bells ring when you hear them, and there's a real worry, a concern, a fear.
No, not really. But that's not through being disrespectful. That's lack of knowledge.
I think Mendes and Shandamal, Angelo Matthews, from 3 to 5. That's a good batting lineup.
I like
that 3 to
Harath.
5, and Harath obviously being one of the leading spinners in the world and throughout history, comes with his own.
Should we go through the England team?
Warning. Yeah, Rory Burns, Keating Jennings. So
some big changes.
Actually, I'm actually just going to put this out there before we start going through this team. That,
Is it still recording, mate?
I made a. But your first reactions to what I'm about to say would be really.
Oh my god!
Would be
You've
really.
got your phone on in a podcast.
Would be really the words.
Yeah, come on, mate. What are you asking me?
So, they have brought in Ben Foakes. Now, my counter argument would be Ben Foakes batting in at 7. Do England really need to strengthen the lower order? Couldn't they have brought in Joe Denley to bat 3 or 5 and really strengthen the top order? I kind of felt like Ben Foakes, obviously having to come in for Johnny Bairstow, but why already strengthen a very good lower order? Won't that surely just see us be 100 for 5 continually, like we've seen throughout the last 3 years. I know folks gets on big, so let's not think about that.
Yeah.
Just think about
I would say
that argument I thought
the openers are hard to comment on going into the game, apart from Jennings, who was terrible. But we're going to have to pick new openers.
Right,
we're going to have to do that.
Let's say we've done.
So that's fine. Mo and Ali batting at 3. Before this game, you go, let's try it.
Yeah.
Joe Root batting 4 is fine. Ben Stokes batting at 5, I think, is too high for him.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying.
But
surely, hang on. Surely,
I don't know where you strengthen it. Mate, 5?
Well then, yeah, have Joe Denley bat 5 or have Joe Denley bat 3 and Mo and Ali bat 5. No, in the end, this game is showing that that's wrong. Whether that's going to stay the whole series and whether I'm going to be wrong through the whole series is we'll have to wait and see. But what do you think about that idea of Ben Folkes will obviously keep his place, and perhaps this conversation is now redundant, but would you have put Ben Folkes in there? Or would you have put a number 3 in?
I think I would have.
Or even batted.
I think I would have had Mo and Ali at 5.
Yeah.
Put someone at 4 and had Joe Root at 3.
Yes.
If it was me.
There could have been that. Anyway, let's go to this team. Rory Burns, his debut. Promising, fairly long career in the county games. Name has been bandied around for quite some time now regarding the opening spot. But worries over his technique and the way he moves.
Who?
Well, I remember the back end of the summer when the Cook conversation was happening, and obviously Cook was retiring and they were saying who were coming in. Lots of cricket journalists and pundits were saying Burns has got a big question mark, or the England selectors have a big question mark over Burns' technique and his moving around the crease, whatnot.
Oh.
But we obviously see him come into the team for the first test, and no doubt will probably play all the tests. Keaton Jennings continues to keep the opening spot and a place in the team, with Mo and Ali batting 3 and Joe Root obviously going to his preferred place at 4. With no Johnny Bairstow, Ben Stokes has been pushed up to 5. Josh Butler 6. Without the gloves, Ben Folkes at 7, the new keeper. Now, the bowlers goes Curran, Rashid, Leach and Anderson. So you've got 2 out-and-out seam bowlers with Curran and Anderson. You've got a Ben Stokes, which who knows if he's going to be fit or not when it comes to bowling. And you've got 3 spinners.
How much worse is that tail if Curran's replaced by Broad?
Yeah. Also, I'm not happy that Broad's been dropped.
Who would you put him in that team for? Mate, he doesn't get in that team.
He does.
He doesn't get in the team. Only because you got so many spinners, because it's a spin place. He's your first seamer to be dropped.
I think. Yeah, I can see why. Fair enough. But then I think Ben Stokes worries me. You have 2. Let's say if it's right. Let's say I know England win the toss and choose the bat first. But let's say they don't. Let's say they have to bowl first. Okay, they lose the toss. Sri Lanka bowl first, and Sri Lanka put on a score of 400. Right. Or they're going to bat a long time. I'm sorry, but you can't rely on Ben Stokes to bowl overs.
Right.
Not fit enough.
Okay.
Always got problems with something or other.
Yeah.
No, they're not fit enough, or he's battered someone outside.
Right.
You can't trust Ben Stokes to bowl, and it's a bit risky for me.
Where's the argument for Stuart Broad here?
That we need.
Are you saying you'd have Stuart Broad in there instead of Ben Stokes?
Maybe. Honestly, I don't think you can go in there with Ben Stokes as a third seamer. I don't think he's.
Do you understand? Ben Stokes isn't the best batsman, but he is a world better than Stuart Broad.
Yeah, but
so then you're going to have.
Look, we bat down all the way down to number 9 in that order.
Are you telling me? So then Butler bats 5, Folkes 6, Curran 7,
which could definitely happen. Rash 8.
Oh my lord! It's a very big tail.
It's only one more. Leach.
It's a very big tail. Stuart Broad gives you nothing. Rashid usually gives you nothing. Leach, Anderson give you nothing.
No, Rashid's a
Sam
good batsman.
Curran, you're like, he's doing well, but the guy, come on.
No,
that's a massive tail.
People are saying that Sam Curran's going to become a batsman rather than a bowler.
It's a massive tail.
Ben Stokes is not good enough to be a bowler. Doesn't show it. He can't be a third bowler.
He's not in the team as a bowler.
Then I think...
I don't know why you're saying it. He's not in the team as a bowler.
Without sounding...
if they get 400, people who are bowling the majority of the overs are the spinners for that time.
Yeah.
You're not bowling the seamers all the time.
But Stuart Broad's got more in his arsenal than Ben Stokes with the ball as well.
There's no argument for him to replace Ben Stokes.
What about the bowling argument?
There's not an argument.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but you actually like Ben Stokes. So, well, fair enough. If that's Ben Stokes floats your boat.
You're arguing for him to replace a number 5 or 6 batsman. That makes no sense.
Should never bat number 5 or 6. Ben Stokes should never bat in his team ever again. I'm on it.
You're trying to come up with a reason to put him in the team. He doesn't get in the team.
How do you feel about...
Only because we need spinners. That's why.
So what about Chris Woakes then?
He's just the first guy to get dropped.
Would you have done Stokes or Woakes?
Possibly, because he gives you a lot more with the bat than Stuart Broad does. Stuart Broad gives you nothing with the bat. He is a number 10 or 11.
Here's a question for you then.
He's a number 10 or 11.
Here's a question for you. Broad in for Curran, and Curran in for Stokes.
No.
That gives you a lot more with the bat.
No, you've just done exactly what you said before. You just swapped them round.
Does it bother you though? Let's say if they were able to find a different way of doing it, if they were able to move around the bowling or the batting lineup or whatever, does it bother you having Ben Stokes as your third seamer? You feel like
not particularly. Not when you're going to be bowling lots of spin.
Work.
Not if we're bowling somewhere where seam bowlers are going to bowl a lot of overs.
Yeah,
but they're not going to bowl that many in Sri Lanka, especially not your third seamer. So not really. It would somewhere like Australia or something like that, or in England.
I think if we were really tested in this, it'd be interesting to see what would happen if we get really tested. If we continue with that team and have to be in the field for a day and a half.
Are you just annoyed because you're just trying to find a way of Broad getting into it?
I think Broad should always be in the England team. He's a very good bowler,
dear.
If not one of the best, if not the very best.
The massive pause when I asked you that question proves he doesn't get in this team.
Okay, well,
he doesn't fit. Doesn't fit in the team.
I'd have Broad over Leach. I'd have Broad over Rash. I'd have Broad over Stokes, Ali. The only person I wouldn't have him over is Jimmy Anderson. And I think that's fair enough. History shows us that those two are the best English bowlers ever. Anyway, let's get on with the actual game. We've had a look at the teams. Happy with the team?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's really... I don't know the England team anymore. Do you know what I mean?
You do.
I know nothing about Keaton Jennings, apart from he looks like he's terrified. Roy Burns, I know nothing about. Moeen Ali's never batted 3 for us, and if he has, it's been for one game. Joe Root, I know a little bit. Ben Stokes is in and out of the team and prison. Josh Butler, I know. Ben Folkes, I've got no idea. Sam Curran's just started playing. Rashid's come back from basically saying he's never going to play. Leach has never played for England before.
Yeah.
And James Anderson's been playing forever. So I know 4 out of 11. I don't. It's an unknown team. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to watch the new boys.
You used to see Moeen Ali eat a Greggs outside Greggs. So.
I have seen him. I have seen him with a Greggs.
You know quite a lot about that man. But you know his Greggs order.
No, I didn't see him actually eating it. I just saw him walking with the packet.
Yeah. What a man. I haven't had a Greggs in a while. What do you order when you go to Greggs?
Pasty in it. I like pasties.
Do you know what I order?
The Cornish, the proper Cornish pasty shop is so much better though. If you're in Worcester.
But then Greggs, you're kind of with Greggs. In all fairness, if you go to a normal pasty shop, kind of feel like Greggs out of 10 will give you more chances of it being hot. No, that's not even a lie, because like a little pasty shop, right? like they cook it once, and then that will probably do the pasties for a long time. Greg's are just throwing out new pasties every day, like every hour.
I always go to the Cornish pasty shop.
Would you like to know my order?
HSBC. Not really. Go on.
Steak bake.
Yeah, that's a safe one, isn't it?
Bacon and cheese wrap. Not wrap, but you don't turn over.
Yeah, nice.
Sometimes if I ask him is the pizza
How
hot,
much does that come to? Like £1.10 or something?
It's like 35p. Really cheap. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
You know when you go to
Is it cricket related?
No. But you know when you go to big cities, like London, for instance, or I don't know, I'm presuming, but I know it is from London. There's a chicken shop on every corner, right?
Right.
Replace those chicken shops with Greg's, we would have a healthier society.
How do you figure that?
Because the chicken shops, no disrespect to those who eat or have a chicken shop, they can't be as healthy as a Greg's.
Greg's is not healthy for you.
No, but the chicken shop certainly isn't. Fried chicken, and arguably that chicken, is less healthy to you than a sausage roll.
I don't think you got a good argument there.
You think chicken shop chicken's better for you?
There's not much between it, I don't think. That's like having an argument a hot dog's better for you than a burger. It's like, well, maybe if you went deep into the stats, but
then at least at Greg's you do get healthy options. Chicken shops you don't. I think that's a. I was thinking about that. I think that's actually a good idea. Because do you know what made me think of it? The pricing's pretty similar because Greg's is so cheap. You could live on Greg's food and be healthy.
I don't think so.
The refrigerated stuff you could. Like the salads.
I think you'd struggle.
The salad, they got a fruit.
I bet you can get a salad from a chicken shop.
You can't.
Bet you can.
Yeah, but come on, Owen.
Bet you can. Well, there you go. It's the same.
No.
If you can get it, then it counts.
You can probably get like macaroni and cheese from a chicken shop. No one's
Right,
buying that.
Exactly. So you don't have an argument, mate.
We
need to get back to the cricket.
Do you go to a kebab shop?
It is now 10 to 3 in the morning. We have to get back to the cricket.
England win.
England find themselves at like, what was it?
100 for 5, was it? 103 for 5.
It just happens so much.
Makes 9. Gets out early on. He walks quite a lot. You say he's prime LBW candidate.
From the first ball. It's because he stood pretty much in front of all three.
And he walks across further, doesn't he?
And then plants his right foot across even further.
He's a left-hander, so that's a right armer.
He's going to start falling over.
Yeah.
But
he makes 9. He glance down leg side, takes a nick, and a bit of a strangle.
I say that. Some people do incredibly. Like, do you remember Simon Katic? There was a point when no one could get that guy out, and he stood in front of all three.
Yeah, I stand in front of all three.
You don't play. You've never played.
I skate.
Jennings
makes 46. Now, Jennings will be an interesting one. A man who makes almost 200 runs in a match.
I'm not looking to discredit someone, right? He did really well in this test match.
Yeah.
And you've got to get picked. You can't drop someone off that. But the guy gave away a lot of chances.
Yeah.
And, they have to be taken, and they weren't. So you got to carry on. Play to the whistle. But I think he gave one away when he was on like 12 or something.
So Jennings makes 46. Moeen Ali, before that, gets the golden duck. Latmal bowls him. Good ball.
It is a good ball. It is a very good ball to get first up. So,
and then Joe Root has to come in on the hat trick and survives the hat trick and goes on. And
I don't
35
think
from himself.
Moeen Ali,
yeah,
is good enough to be an international number 3, only because a number 3 should be your best batsman, right? But if not, should be able to open.
Okay.
Moeen Ali can't do that.
Do you know what? I was on Sky Sports. They do something called the verdict.
I think Moeen Ali can do it at county level, and I'll tell you why. Because the bowling is slower, so much slower. I think he's got such a good eye for the ball that he can do it at that standard.
Guess who Bob Willis thinks should open for England?
If it's Mo and Ali, I don't want to.
It's not Mo and Ali.
Okay. Was it just Gothic?
He thinks that after Folkes' 100 in the first innings, Johnny Bairstow's only place for him in the team is to open.
Johnny Bairstow.
And he thinks...
I said that would happen.
And he thinks...
Not that he's in charge of what happens.
Stoke should bat 4. Like...
I don't understand. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we say, how do they come up with these things? But then you get a pundit saying stuff like that. And you're like, oh.
And this is a pundit. Isn't a
that's
pundit.
Where it comes from.
This is like an old school, like, tells the truth, like a Jeffrey Boycott-esque person, a pundit, coming out with rubbish like that. It made me want to write in.
It's weird. It's a weird suggestion. I don't know why.
But
that's not very old school, is it, that suggestion?
No, but he's like a traditional kind of man, isn't he?
No, I know, but that's what I mean.
No, it's ridiculous.
That's a really weird suggestion.
His words were...
So I would think he'd go defensive. That seems very attacking.
We'll obviously have to talk about Johnny Bairstow and where he fits into this team. Maybe perhaps in the next game or towards the back end of this episode. But I've got like brain fog because it's so late. Bob Willis said that England should not pick specialist batsman roles and positions and should just play the best batsman. So he's saying we shouldn't have a specialist openers. We shouldn't have a specialist number 3. We should just play the best batsman. Like that's fine in ODI cricket. It's been proven you get away with that, but you don't get away with that in Test cricket. What a ridiculous thing to say.
That doesn't make any sense because
he's saying
you do play your best batsman.
No, because Johnny Bairstow. Let's say Johnny Bairstow can't get into this team now because Folkes has done so well, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Bairstow's a better batsman than Burns and Jennings, right?
Is he?
Well, he's better than Jennings, isn't he? Surely. If you put them up together and said who's the better batsman, not the position they play in, the better batsman, people are going to say Johnny Bairstow, right? And he's saying
he thinks that batting position doesn't matter.
He's saying he's saying we've got to move away from specialist batting positions to just playing the best batsman.
Right, I think you'd be in a world of trouble if you
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
You just have a team of number 5s.
Yeah. Yes, you would.
It just wouldn't work.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous. That was a bit of a side note, but we go back to this game. Joe Root comes in, makes 35, then dances down the track, yorks himself.
Yeah. It happens. I don't think it was actually that terrible. It just happens. He just misjudged the flight.
It's one of those things that looks awful, though, doesn't it? He has given his wicket away, though. There's no doubt about it. He has given his wicket away.
It's definitely a mistake. Unforced error.
And when he goes, England are looking slightly in trouble because he goes when the score's 72 for 3. Jennings goes 98 for 4, and then we see Stokes going, who misses a paddle-ish sweep, would you say?
Yeah, I don't know.
He gets bowled and then sees England 103 for 5, a position we're
pretty used to.
Quite familiar with, yeah.
Then it's down to the old Butlers and the Folkes ski.
Butler makes 38, while Ben... is his name Ben?
Yeah, I think so. I would say it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So Josh Butler makes 38, while Ben Folkes makes...
Josh Butler looks so much better in Test match cricket now than he did the last time he played. And he got picked totally randomly with no form in this format.
Hadn't played cricket for over a year.
And yet he's come back and he's done so much better. He looks so much better, and he doesn't play that aggressively.
We'll get on to the bowlers, but how much better does Rashid look compared to that India series? Come on, that India series, there was a lot more short balls.
Well, I don't know. I haven't watched, but I think it's hard because the situations are different.
Why?
I think he's bowling against not as good a batsman.
But you still got to pitch it in the right place.
True. He's bowling against not as good a batsman, and in this game, he was under no real pressure when he was bowling.
I suppose the thing is, we were watching extended highlights, and the balls that do get hit for Rashid, they are the bad balls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And perhaps that clouds judgment. But anyway, Oh, I don't know. My breath's all out of place. I feel like Joey Diaz. You know when he was on the mic and you can hear him going.
And then Sam Curran came in, and he looks like the best batsman in the whole team. Did very well.
Do you think there's a position for Sam Curran to go up the order?
Please don't.
No,
That's
right.
what England do. That.
No, honestly, this is Alex Stewart, right?
They'll put him in the top 5. He'll start getting out.
Is it Alec or Alex Stewart?
Get rid of him. Alec.
Alex Stewart. Alec.
Yeah.
Alex Stewart, who's the Surrey coach, says that Sam Curran will be the batter all-rounder rather than the bowler all-rounder, and he will be a person that can bat way up the order, like a lot further up the order than he currently is.
Okay. That's fine. But can we not do that now?
Well, when do we do it? People are calling for him to be the new number 3.
Then Rashid comes in, actually looks quite useful with a bat.
Very good, yeah. Sam Curran actually looked... I know he scored a number of 6s. 4 6s was it in the end? 3 6s? But he actually looks pretty when he bats. Rashid, a little bit more effective rather than pretty, if you like. But 35 off
Leach
39
didn't look
balls.
like a rabbit either. I thought he would be. He
No.
didn't look like a rabbit, even though he didn't do very well.
Rabbit, is he? How did you think... We've kind of bypassed it, but how do you think Folks looked on his international debut?
You are not a fan, but you can't argue if someone gets 100.
No, you can't. I thought you looked a little bit twitchy, a little bit.
You said that when Joe
scatty.
Root got in the England team.
Did I?
Yeah, you were saying you didn't like how he looked when he was batting.
I didn't like how I know.
Said he was too jumpy.
Yeah, and I thought Folks was a bit too jumpy. Goes down and up again. Like,
it was in one shot.
No,
it was like one shot. He went down
every time he spit. He plays.
He went down for a sweep, and then he
bobbing
pitched
for
it.
apples.
He went down for a sweep. The ball was shorter than he thought, so he rocked back. In order to rock back, he's got to come up again.
But obviously, fair enough for Folks. 100 on debut against spin in Sri Lanka is never
very
an
well.
easy
And
feat.
it saved us. It was
he needed
that was pressure there. As a proper Test match innings.
So with Folks on the middle to lower order wagging, we see England make 342 all out. Probably just about a par score, but a score that could be bypassed by Sri Lanka, a team batting
at home
in conditions that they know all too well.
Yeah.
So England certainly weren't favourites going into that. Latmal picks up 3 wickets.
I think you're in most Test matches with 342, though, aren't you?
Yeah. But then it only takes 450 and then you're in trouble.
You're not out, though. You're out of no Test match if you get 340.
No.
Not in the first innings.
Sri Lanka, 5 for 75 for Pereira, who opened the bowling as a spinner. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I get that.
What's it like?
His economy's 2.4. He's very good, isn't he?
Yeah. What do you as a spinner when they open bowling?
Mm-hmm.
What's this? The seam hurts their fingers. Is that true? Rips their fingers.
I don't know. I guess it does. I don't know.
Anyway, 342 off 97 overs. Good to see England on the first time of being asked or actually deliver a fairly decent score. A score that isn't 250.
It would be nice
if
it was the top order that did it.
Yes, it would.
Wouldn't it? That's what you want to see.
But then we did see 100, and it's something I've been calling out for. So even though it's a new player, and I would love to see the top order make runs, it's 100, and 100's are really important in Test cricket. So I'm happy to see 100 come from Folks. Let's get into the Sri Lankan first innings, where they make a measly 203 all out with Angelo Matthews.
So sort of a lot of starts in the middle order.
Yeah, Chandimal and Dickwell all making starts, but can't go on to make big runs. Angelo Matthews and Chandimal looked like they could. They had the opportunity. They were building a partnership. But when Angelo Matthews went 115 for 5, very difficult to then. England did it, but to drag that back. Let's have a look at the bowling. We're not going to go too much. Matthews makes 52, Chandimal 33, Dick Weller 28, Pereira 21, and a few starts before that. But
they need someone to go on. There's.
So Anderson picks up the 1 wicket, one where he just hangs it outside the off stump. You said it was too short when we were watching the highlights.
I think it was too short.
It's the second ball of the...
He reviewed it instantly as well. They were very bad with their reviews in this test
Sri Lanka
match.
weren't
Sri
they?
Lanka were awful. I don't know who they were going off.
But a nice start
for
folks in the field. That was the second ball of the innings.
Yeah, that
picks
is
up
nice,
a catch,
isn't it?
gets 100, picks up a catch. Sam Curran, a perfect swinging. Wow, that's a left arm.
Yeah, a little bit of
paceman,
bit of seam movement. I like that we've got a left arm seamer and a left arm spinner.
You like that, do you?
That's kind of cool. That's unusual. Yeah. Got a left arm seamer, left arm spinner, right arm spinner, right arm seamer. Got a bit changing it right up.
Jack Leach bowls 2.
He looks good to me.
For 41 off his 18.
Why has he not played for England before? He looks like an actual spinner who has control.
Has played for England before.
Right, for one game. Why has he only played one game for England?
Because he had that injury, didn't he?
He looks good. He looks like a spinner.
So he had that injury that kept him out from the summer. He was playing county cricket, but not so much as perhaps the ECB wanted. But he's now back in the fold to be England's spinner because
he should be England's spinner.
Probably, arguably, could be, if not the best, alongside Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid. I can't see another. I know it sounds weird, but out of those three, I can't see another spinner making their way. I can't see there being a gap now for someone like what was that leg spinner called that we had? That you liked him, didn't you? You're really young.
Oh no, not yet.
I can't see it being opened up for him. Do you remember Dominic Bess as well? We had him as well.
We had that lad who just became
batted well and
became a lawyer. He looked all right as well.
But I don't. No, he was dog shit. I don't want to talk about him.
No, that's not true.
But I'm saying we had Dominic Bess and I can never remember that Hampshire leg spinner's name. But I can't see them actually breaking in and around this team. I think those are your 3 spinners now.
They will be for a while.
For some time. Moeen picks up 4, while Rashid picks up 2, and Stokes only the 4 overs doesn't pick up a wicket. But were you particularly impressed with any of the bowlers there?
I just liked watching Leach bowl and actually seeing him bowl. Watching a spinner, I thought was really good. But obviously Moeen Ali is still favoured. He's still getting the majority of the overs. But he did take 4. So he is becoming a spinner, isn't he? He's not doing anything with the bat.
Moeen Ali?
Yeah. He's getting close to having to get picked as a spinner. Because he really is doing nothing with the bat anymore.
Well, he scored a 50 in his last game. Not this game, obviously. He scored a 50 before that. Batting number 3 there as well.
Scoring a 50 doesn't get you in the England team as a batsman, though, does it?
Well, arguably, someone could say it's done it for Joe Root for 3 years.
Right, but Moeen Ali hasn't done it for 8 games in a row.
No, that's
He's
true.
done it 1 game in 3 years.
I am happy with the way that the spin, they worked as a accordion, if you like. For them to pick up 8 wickets is impressive. No need to change it if they are all picking it up. You're being weird.
I'm not being weird.
You are.
I'm
You're
listening
being weird.
to you speak.
So 8 wickets for the spinners. Moeen Ali picking up the 4. Obviously, he is England's best spinner ever. England's second innings. Would you like to tell me what you're doing at home?
I'm looking at England's second innings, and I'll tell you straight away that to get run out when you've got to prove yourself to get your there's a position as England opener.
There's a
you
fine
have
line
been picked
between love and hate,
and you run out. You hit it straight to a fielder and run. You didn't even dive, and you get run out.
A misjudgment from Burns. 23 makes a good start. England were looking pretty good. It was a battle of the night before. and gets himself out. But Jennings goes on and makes 146. Now, Owen, you are certainly not a Jennings fan. What did you make of that innings?
Again, gave away quite a few chances. But he
146,
batted
146.
for 280 balls. It's a very good innings. My question is, could he do it under pressure?
I don't think it's...
You can't argue with 146. It's really good. 146, that's impressive. Again, if you're playing international cricket and you open the bat and you get 146, you're good, right? But there was absolutely no pressure. He didn't have to stay there. No. We had a lead as he was going in, and Sri Lanka looked dodgy with the bat.
I don't think it's a coincidence that the only times he's scored hundreds is out in the subcontinent. He looks like he's a much more comfortable player against spin than he ever is against pace bowling.
I don't like the look of his reverse sweep. I know he keeps going to it, and the commentators love it. It looks so dodgy to me. I don't like it at all.
Well, he scores a lot of runs with the sweep, like the England batsman did in general. But he did score a lot. And I remember when he was in India.
He didn't hit one of them well, the reverse sweeps. They're all miss hits.
When he was in India, he played the sweep really well out there as well. I do think he prefers spin bowling, and I do think he will be a player who can actually go on some continental tours and do fairly well. It's a shame that when we see him in English conditions, pace generally knocks him over and he starts to look like that rabbit in the headlights. But 146 not out is still
That'll
very
keep him in the team for a couple of years. That
impressive score. 280 balls, a test match innings. You can't really argue with it, can you?
Did very well.
Stokes, who also plays a test match innings of 62 off 93 balls. Bob Willis said that Ben Stokes is not playing his best cricket. He needs to be more aggressive. It's almost like he's forgot what Test cricket's about. It's almost
Are we skipping over Mo and Ali? Are we just forgetting about that?
Well,
I mean, the guy is the definition of giving your wicket away. That is perfect. Perfect evidence he is not good enough to bat at 3.
Yeah.
Not at international cricket for England. He cannot be batting 3. He's too loose. He's too loose. You can't play shots like that.
So who bats at 3?
Joe Root isn't going to do it, is he?
You're going to have to take Mo out and bring him in. Bring someone else in, effectively.
Yeah.
Unless it's... Because Folks, he can't move. Can't move Folks. It's going to have to be Denley.
Denley, or that's where Bairstow gets back in.
I think
but then you can't drop someone, can you? You got to drop someone.
Bairstow can't bat number 3.
He's better than Mo and Ali.
Yeah, Bairstow's probably a better batsman than Mo and Ali, but
he's better number 3.
Bairstow's still not number 3.
Bairstow's better anywhere.
So you're
than Mo and Ali for batting.
Right, okay, but then Bairstow's not a number 3.
No.
There's no point you telling me he's a better batsman.
We don't have a number 3 though.
I don't care who's a better batsman. I care about who's going to be a number 3.
We don't have a number 3. So
well, we have Joe Denley who plays number 3 for his county.
Right. Well, we'll try him then. I'd throw him in there.
But if we've
got a number 3 in the team, why is he not batting there?
Because they got Mo and Ali bats number 3 for his county.
Right.
And they've got a fantasy with Mo and Ali and they want to keep him in the team. I would rather see Mo and Ali bat 3 and do his job in subcontinental conditions than see Bairstow back in the team, number 3.
Oh my God.
Because Mo and Ali offers you more in Sri Lanka than Bairstow does.
Oh my God.
Which is just a fact. Can you argue against that?
I'm not having Mo and Ali at 3.
No, I don't want him at 3 either.
I'm not sacrificing anything to see.
But I'm not having Johnny Bairstow there.
I don't want to get rid of Mo and Ali. I'll have him as one of our spinners. That's fine.
You can't.
I'm not having him at 3.
Okay, then have Mo and Ali in the who are you getting rid of then?
That's a tricky one.
You can't. You can't get rid of any of those players now.
I don't know. It is difficult.
Mo and Ali has to bat there.
It's so much easier if Joe Root bats at 3.
Yeah, but it's quite obvious he's just not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I think that puts England in a position where batting...
I'm not having Mo and Ali bat at 3. It's just so obviously not somewhere he can bat.
So then,
It's just terrible.
If you're the selector, how are you going to change it? What are you going to do?
I don't know. I don't know. Put Stokes there or something.
People are calling for Ben Stokes to bat number 3.
Equally,
he's not good
poor.
enough. Ben Stokes is not good enough for bat number 3. I would rather
There's only one number 3 in the team, and he won't bat there.
He's not number 3. He's
the best batsman in the team. He's the number 3 in the team.
He's the best batsman in the team. He wants to bat number 4, and looks like England.
It makes it so difficult because we don't have someone to fill that position. Number 4's way easier to fill than 3.
Yeah.
Joe Root's the only number 3 in that lineup.
He doesn't want to bat there.
I know.
And I don't think, honestly, I can't see, unless you drop a bowler, getting in a number 3 and asking Mo and Ali to move. Getting Johnny Bairstow in that team is going to be really difficult now. How are you going to get Johnny Bairstow?
Would you be
in that
annoyed
team?
if you dropped Mo and Ali completely?
Yeah, I quite like the idea that I think the 3 spinners.
I don't think I'd be that annoyed.
But he's picked up 8 wickets in this game.
I know, but I don't think I'd be that annoyed if they dropped him.
I don't think you can be. He is a droppable for the second test.
They won't. No, yeah, they won't drop him.
I think 8 wickets is almost as good as 100, isn't it? Really.
They won't drop him.
I don't think. How does Johnny Bairstow get? Let's say Johnny Bairstow's fit. Forget about Joe Denley for the moment. We'll talk about Joe Denley in number 3 afterwards. How does Johnny Bairstow get back in that team? For Butler?
4.
Who did you take out?
Root bats 3.
Who did you take out for Johnny Bairstow? Or do you just say to folks, hard luck, mate? You just be really and just say, because actually Bayliss and Root have been hard.
I don't think Bairstow gets back in this team. You just got to see how Folks does, and if he doesn't perform, then he gets back in for him.
But then, arguably, now Alistair Cook's gone, Johnny Bairstow's our second best batsman. He can't get in the team. It's crazy. It's a headache.
Why do you think he's our second best batsman?
Can you name a?
And you won't put. If he's our second best batsman, then he gets in the team. If he's our second best batsman, then you drop Butler for him.
Well, then, yeah, I'm saying we need to.
You drop Butler.
No, I'm saying that I'm thinking about even dropping Folks.
If you think he's our second best batsman, it's easy.
And you don't.
I can't really get him in that team because of where you'd have to bat him.
So you don't.
There's no point putting him like 7 or 8. I'm not a fan of that.
No, but he can go back.
And if Joe Root's not, I mean, I would have no problem with him batting at 3. To be honest,
he's not a number 3.
Right, I know you keep saying that.
He's
we
not.
Don't have a number 3.
He's not a number 5. The problem we have.
He's not a number 5. He could definitely bat at 5. That's ridiculous.
He's a number 6 and number 7.
5. No.
He's not a player that's going to go and score 150s for you. He's a player that's going to score 80 for you.
He could definitely bat at 5. That's ridiculous.
If
Mo and Ali can be put in the position of number 3, Johnny Bairstow can definitely bat at number 5.
We've seen him bat number 5.
If you think he's our second best batsman, he can bat at 5.
We've seen him
ridiculous.
No, we've seen him bat at number 5. He's been nowhere near as successful as batting at 7 or even 8. We've seen him bat. He hasn't been as successful as his position at number 7.
Okay.
Which I don't think which you can't argue with.
I'm not.
But he's still our second best batsman. And his best batting position is number 7.
Okay.
Now, it's a headache trying to get him in the team. There's a lot of spinners. Maybe get rid of one of the spinners. Get rid of Rashid.
Yeah, all right. I wouldn't mind that.
But it's a headache for the England selectors. I'm not particularly... I can't see him coming in for the next game.
No, he won't. England get 322. Declare before Jenny gets the 150, but 146 not out. Not going to harm the average.
We see
any particular good bowling figures?
We see Ben Folks play a different kind of innings.
Yeah, went out and had a bit of a slap, didn't he?
Yeah, which is nice to see.
Over a runner ball.
He scored 100 and he shouldn't. He doesn't deserve to be dropped, but in my team he would.
That's harsh.
It is hard. I don't just like. It's just too difficult. Butler doesn't deserve to be dropped because Butler's actually been consistent since coming back in the team. Ben Stokes might deserve to be dropped, but we're making a meal of it.
If you don't want him as a bowler,
I don't think he is a bowler.
well, then you get rid of him for Bairstow. Bairstow's a better batsman than
But
Ben
then we
Stokes.
can't. I don't think we can just have two seam bowlers. It's a really tricky one. Stokes does pick up a good 62 though.
Yeah.
Harath's last bowling innings, he only picks up the 2 wickets, and
Got Stokes with an absolute beaut there. Oh, that was Pereira, sorry.
he got Root with a good one, didn't he?
Yeah. Pereira absolutely did Stokes.
Yeah, that was better than a Warney ball.
Not true. On to Sri Lanka's second innings, mate, if you don't mind.
Sri Lanka was set
They
for
had a world of amount of runs to try and get.
450 runs to
Yeah.
chase.
That's never going to happen. They had
chase
so
down.
much time.
And
Just
again, it's a
middle ordery. Well, I don't know.
No,
Actually,
it's a-
sort of top order.
it's a scorecard with
Top order starts.
full of starts.
Is that a bit of a
Matthews put on a partnership this time, but
a
can't kick on
warning
and make
for
hundreds.
England? Is that a warning for England that all of Sri Lanka's top order get starts against us?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think it's
If
like
everyone's getting starts, someone's going to hit. A few are going to start hitting some form. If they consistently keep getting
of course
30s,
they are. Yeah, of course. But
then it's
this isn't you Sri Lanka at home. Sri Lanka aren't the powerhouse they used to be. They might even be on a decline at the moment.
I'm just saying.
But
When
they
people
are in
start
their home
when
conditions.
batsmen start getting into the 30s or high 20s on a regular, not that they are because it's the first Test match.
But it depends what you're thinking of how many Sri Lanka are going to get each innings. You want to restrict Sri Lanka and you think it's possible.
We'll see, mate. We'll see in the next Test match.
Do you think it's possible to restrict Sri Lanka below 250 every game? I don't think that's realistic. Sri Lanka will score runs. They are at home. They know the conditions. Batsmen will go and get starts.
I don't know. Are you arguing with me?
Well,
I
you're
don't know what you're
saying, do you find it dangerous that they're going on? It doesn't surprise me that they're making starts.
I'm just saying that when
They will do well
I'm
in their home
saying the
conditions.
amount of people that are, so people are going to start hitting form. I'm just saying that it's like this would give you confidence that we've battered them and we will for the rest of it.
No, I don't
I'm
think
saying
we.
I don't think we will.
I don't know. I don't think we will batter them for the rest of it. No, definitely not. I think we played really well.
How many Test matches is this?
There's 2 more after this.
One of them, I think England will get embarrassed.
Yeah, could do. And it could be a 1-1. It could be a 2-1.
That's the first time England have ever won in that stadium.
Is it really?
Against Sri Lanka, anyway.
Well, yeah, I'm presuming they would only play a Test cricket against Sri Lanka in that stadium.
So it's cool.
But Sri Lanka fall 211 runs short of the total. They were set with Moeen Ali picking up another 4 wickets, Rashid picking up 1, Leach 3,
Leach looks good, doesn't he?
And
I'm really happy about that.
and Stokes picks up the 1. Yeah, again, another good performance by the bowlers. They kept it in there. You are right. The batsmen did make starts, and there were partnerships, especially the partnership between Mendes and Matthews. But England stayed patient, didn't they? Leach going for under 3 and over. Stokes bowling a little bit better. You saw 20 overs from Moeen, 18 overs from Rash, 21 overs from Leach.
I know the England selectors make some weird choices, right, and do some weird stuff. I like the fact that they dropped Stuart Broad so they could have another spinner.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think this currently is the ballsiest England setup I've seen for a while.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's ballsy. I think it's just they've got no choice.
Well,
there's so many positions that we don't know who plays there,
yeah,
and that we're just starting completely fresh on. I don't know if it can be considered ballsy.
But then, like
what would be the safe thing?
Play it. I think if that was Alistair Cook, I'm not saying Joe Root's doing this by himself. Alistair Cook and Andrew Strauss and Michael Vaughan, they
Then
would
you've
have
solved all of England's problems.
they would have played. If that was under that regime, they would have played Stuart Broad. Like for instance, do you remember when Stoneman?
You don't think they'd have played 3 spinners?
They might have, but they wouldn't have played Curran, perhaps.
Maybe.
But like Stoneman in the summer was dropped the first game after in a series. That's a ballsy move to make.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's really paid off.
No, but I'm saying that it's cutthroat. It's
weird,
but it's cutthroat, isn't
if
it?
not stupid.
And they've made ballsy moves bringing Rashid back, who's declared he wasn't playing 4-day cricket.
And Butler.
Butler didn't ever declare it, but he hadn't played 4-day cricket in over a year.
Yeah, you don't need to declare it. Just never playing it. It's a pretty good.
This is like, they do make ballsy moves, and I am a big Broad fan, but I do kind of commend it. Those decisions
In those conditions, well, we've skittled them twice, so.
And it's paid off having 3 spinners.
Yeah.
The spinners put the majority of wickets. But I do think if that was a regime of yesteryear, we would have
Curran's
seen...
not getting bowled much, is he? I mean, the seamers aren't really.
No.
So, it's fair enough.
And we mentioned it in the preview, but what's Curran be able to do after the new ball? Unless it reverses, can he get reversed?
I think he's got the thing. The ball will swing. As long as it's not completely ruined.
We'll probably call it a day there, and that's 56 minutes of podcasting gold. So if you've enjoyed this one, give us a like. We'll be back for the next podcast, which will probably be... I haven't looked at the schedule, but
is Colombo? Is that in Sri Lanka?
Test. Yeah, Colombo.
Yeah,
Colombo,
yeah. Guessing one of the test matches will be there.
Well, where was
I'd like to go to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
If you could go to Sri Lanka or India, where would you go?
Oh, Sri Lanka.
Don't know. That's a tricky one for me.
No,
I want to go to India.
India looks a bit manic to me.
Well, I guess it depends where you go. Big cities in India are going to be mental.
And I think, well, I could be wrong, but are most of test grounds in big cities?
You what?
Like, when you look at the grounds in Sri Lanka, it looks kind of like picturesque, doesn't it?
That one
like
does. That one looks cool.
Some they're in the mountains. You know what I mean?
No.
It's so nice.
It does look cool.
Sri Lanka is it's on my bucket list.
India's absolutely massive, though.
Yeah,
I imagine they've got. But but Sri Lanka looks I would really like to go.
I'd like to do Sri Lanka. I'd like to do West Indies as well.
Yeah, West Indies would be dope.
I'd love to do South Africa.
I know my mate who I was best man for in the summer. His auntie lives in Trinidad.
Does she?
So I could get free accommodation, mate.
Yeah, but I'll probably be with the players.
Yeah? All right, fair enough.
Getting punched by Ben Stokes and Johnny Best headbutt me in a bar. Jimmy Anderson throwing a drink over me. In other news, what was that guy who looks like Barney Rubble, played for England? Ben, the wicketkeeper, Ben Duckett.
Oh, right, yeah.
I saw him trying to chat up a girl we went to school with on social media.
Oh.
Interesting, eh? Anyway, that's enough for the Long Cock Cricket Podcast. We shall see you next week.